Welcome to Bookwood. I'm glad you chose to spend some time with me. If you haven't met before, my name is Mashou and I create bookish and journal-related content over here on YouTube. Welcome in my weekly carousel vlog. In this vlog, I share with you the books I've read during the week and the activities I have done with my family, or mostly with my family. And this week is going to be a particular week. It is not only the first week of the Amazing Readathon organized by Brie over at Four Paws and the Book, which means that I will be highly focusing on reading. It is also still raining, so going outside and doing activities will be impossible. And this weekend it is TBR-athon weekend, in which I am going away with my husband. We are attending the concert of a queer orchestra, in which one of our friends is a violinist, and we are off to Paris for that. And that will be, together with my TBR-athon book, a separate vlog. So over these 5 days, there is not much B-roll that will be available, unfortunately. Well, it means that this vlog is not going to be so long, I hope. We had the first prompt dropping for the Amazing Readathon over the weekend, and I have already added in the information into my reading journal. So let's switch to that before talking about the book. I was very happy that the first prompt was read a booktube recommendation. For that prompt, I had picked out this book, Un soir d'été by Philippe Besson. It has an English translation, which is called The Summer Boy. This book is based on true events, and of course I went looking them up, but I couldn't find any on it. Well, it is a very long time ago, almost 40 years. No, 41 years. And so maybe it's because of that, but maybe also Philippe did a very good job hiding like the most important information on it. What sets off Philippe to write this book is that he sees someone walking in the street. He sees the back of this person that could be the person that went missing in 85. And he takes us back through his memories. We will have a first-person story. We will also have some breaking of the fourth wall when at some points in the text he will add a little information between brackets that are his thoughts later on the events. And I feel that gives an extra dimension to this story. Philippe takes us with him that summer, going on vacation on the Ile de Ré, which is a little island that is from France. I will put a little image so you can see where exactly this is located. And As every summer, he will stay there with friends of his parents. He will share a room with their son, François, who is like a brother to him, because they are going there like for since forever. And when they arrive, François is not at home, so Philippe sets off on the island looking for his friend, and he will find him with a new friend for their group, which is Nicolas. Nicolas moved to this island with his mother over the winter, and he seems to be a little bit a loner, secretive, quite introvert. We don't know much about him. Nobody does. And to put it with Virginie, François' sister, who's 13 years old, you can see that he's broken on the inside. So our protagonists are 18. They are like in between puberty and adulthood. Philippe is going to go do some higher studies. François is working with his father in the butcher shop. And the other friend in this group, Christophe, works with his father on their fishing boat. And we will follow this little group, because Christophe is working to the beach. And we will catch up a little bit on the time they did not spend together. We will get to know them also a little bit, the dynamic between them, their relationship. And François is having a crush on a girl on the beach. She will become one of their friends together with her brother. There is something very particular of these vacation cities or places. You have the people who live there, you have the tourists, and then you have the recurrent tourists who have like a status that's in between the two of them. And I know this feeling very well, because I spent all of my summers at the same place in the south of France, and I was one of those people being there every year, being like not really a tourist, because we know the place and I had friends in the local people, but then not local as well. And I feel that is very well done, very well portrayed in the case of Philippe, in how things go. But one thing also that the locals in these places have is the summer crushes. Tourists come, tourist goes, they look for nice person to be with, and then they spend a summer romance together, and then that's it. And that's what's happening for François. And we will follow how this little group evolves until they really are able to meet up with Alice and to get to know her. And Alice brings along Mark, who is her brother, and together, and I feel that the events will make that this group stays consistent. They stay together. They stay a group of friends. And we will go around like the typical summer stuff. We will also be very casually informed of Philippe's homosexuality. It is mentioned, and then it is done in a way that I really like. It is not put on the foreground, even if it is a part of the story. So we will see how things go up with Alice. We will see develop a very particular bond between Philippe and Nicolas. Philippe is drawn to him, but Nicolas is not gay, so they become very close friends. And we will also see a love interest coming up. And I'm afraid to tell too much and then not tell enough. But this group will form quite strongly, and then one day one of them goes missing. And then I feel it is like 3/4 in. Somehow the going missing is not the most biggest part of this story, but it is very impactful, and we will see like how things go. We will see how then things go after that. We will see how the summer ends. So we will really follow like a 4 to 6 weeks period. I want to say 4. And then we have a little epilogue giving some later on information. The story was almost cozy to read. You feel, or at least I felt like I was on vacation. Maybe it's because I can relate to this dynamic of Philippe's place in this group and on these islands because of my experiences. But to me, it was really also a flashback to that period of my life, even it was 10 years later. And it has like this very summery vibe. The disappearance in itself, I feel that I could really picture me being 18 and going through these events, and I feel it is really brought on that mindset approached. It is not like over dramatized, but it is also given the place that it needs, and it also leads to some very interesting reflections, which I also appreciated a lot. What I liked the most, though, about this book is the writing style, the way words are chosen, the way phrases are made. I think I have discovered an author that I really want to read more books from, and I really hope that you will try one of his books out, because more than this one are translated. In the next B-roll, there is the images of a project that Naoki's class was involved in, together with the Fab Lab and 2 other organizations. The schools of Andenne got the opportunity to go to the Fab Lab for 2 days, and on the first day, the children were guided in creating a poem, and then the pop-up images that were part of it, and then a composer also created with them the music for it. And then the second day they went to assemble the whole book when everything has been cut. So in these images you will see the concert that was organized for that. So the music was played live while somebody flipped through the book. And unfortunately, though, because of the sun, we couldn't really well see the book. So I refilmed it, and I have also some close-up views of different pop-up parts. And if I understood well, there is this little part that Naoki said he will get. And we also got a little booklet which holds all the poems. So there is one book for each class. I'm only showing you the one that's of concern to our family, which is Naoki's. I hope you enjoy seeing this project. I think it is really great that they had the opportunity to not only talk about books, because in 3D printing and laser cutting they could have done so many types of projects, but they picked a book. They wrote a poem, they chose music for it. I feel it's just fantastic, and maybe it's inspiring to you, or maybe this is a kind of project that you could ask your school to do. Naoki enjoyed this very much.
Trouve la luge, réunir le sol des taches rouges. Dans la
second book I finished this month was not Fauteur. That would be this book by Robin Hobb. In French, it's Le Vol des Dragons. It's the first part of the fourth book in the Rainwild Chronicles, which is the fourth, I think, series in the realm of the Elderlings saga. It's difficult to really make a summary for you about this book, but in the Rainwild Chronicles, we are back into the Rainwilds. We are following a group of young people that are originating from this region of Hobb's world, that are accompanying dragons that were born with disformations, that cannot fly in their in their search for a city called Kasingara. And of course, there is a lot of things coming to do with that, a lot of political, hidden and public agendas, and we have been following them all along. I thought the third book was way more interesting than the second, so the English versions, because I will have to read like 2 volumes in French to read 1 volume in English. And this first part of the last book was full of events, twists and turns. I was very happy to go back to following a lot of characters, and I feel that we have really picked up the pace, and I'm looking forward to read the next one. Before we go any further, here is some other B-roll that I need to introduce to you. I have made a video, I think it was back in November, you'll find it up there, on a book called Looking for a Group by Alexis Hall, which is a romance set in the world of MMOs. And I made this video because, first of all, it seemed that some people had difficulty understanding all the terms of MMO. And so I wanted to illustrate them, since I do play this kind of game, but also because this book talks a lot about social relationships in these type of games. And to me, it is very dear to give them a good name, because I met my husband on such a game, and we are happily married for now 11 years. So I felt it was something that was an important message. And in that video, I said that in the game, we had visited certain libraries that are in there, but that there was a dungeon coming up in which we would be venturing into a book, and that I would show this dungeon when I got opportunity. And this is what is following next. So this is what they call, and I don't know the exact English term, I play in French, a dungeon en embranchement, in branches. So there are 12 paths that we need to follow, and then there will be a 13th one that will be like the final level, and each of these paths is different, and you need to figure out what you have to do to get to the difficult endings. It's a little bit like a choose your own adventure book, of which I read one which was very fun, which was The Dinner Party by Frida McFadden. I made a vlog about that too, if you're interested. This type of concept you need to look for the different ways. And I have filmed only 2 of the ways for you. So this is what you will see next. You have like another thing you can do with books.
Underneath the stars where the night is cold, in the dark of night the demons hide bold, a dance of shadows with the rising sun, whispers in the dark, a battle to be won. My eyes wide open, heart starts to pound, in the time of darkness fear makes a sound, when the sun descends and the shadows creep, whispers in the dark coming from the deep, whispers in the dark, a challenge and a call, break through the fear, let us stand tall, through the darkest nights we'll face every fear, whispers heart starts to pound. In the time of darkness, fear makes a sound. When the sun descends and the shadows creep, whispers in the dark coming from the deep. Whispers in the dark, a challenge and a call. Break through the fear, let us stand tall. Through the darkest nights, we'll face every fear. Whispers in the dark are always near. Deep in the night, fear takes its hold. The darkness creeps, the story unfolds. Lost in the maze of a twisted mind, haunted by shadows, even me blind. Haunted by shadows deep in the night, my eyes wide open, searching for light. The fear grips my soul and won't let me go. Haunted by shadows into the unknown. Fear takes its course as darkness prevails. Shadows grip my heart as the night unveils. Fighting the demons that reside within. Haunted by shadows, the nightmare begins. Haunted by shadows deep in the night, my eyes wide open, searching for light. The fear grips my soul and won't let me go. Haunted by shadows into the unknown. To the unknown.
I was getting worried that I wouldn't make it right at the start of TAR. That's what happened last year. Certainly because, well, this weekend was the Readathon. That vlog is coming up on Thursday, but also we went away for the whole weekend and I really needed to finish my book for leg 2. Which is Hygiene of the Assassin by Amélie Nothomb. And I did finish it. I finished it, so we are Monday today. I finished it yesterday evening, just before the prompt dropped. So I finished it, logged it, and the prompt dropped. So my next vlog for this week will start with the third prompt. But I'm so happy. I made it. Yay! I didn't think it would be possible. So Hygiene de l'Assassin, or Hygiene of the Assassin, is Amélie Nothomb's very first book. It was published in 1992. Amélie Nothomb, if you knew, is one of my favorite authors. She is Belgian, and I've been reading slowly throughout all her work. And I never read the really first one. The most that I've read talk about her life, but this one is a complete fictional work. In this book, we meet Pretextat Tash, which is an author, Nobel Prize winner of literature, and he only has 2 months left to live. Lots of journalists wants to interview him before he passes away. He is very known as an author. He's like the type of author that everybody buys, everybody says they read, but maybe people didn't read really what he wrote. He is a very strange person. He lives reclused in an apartment. He just comes out to do some groceries, and he doesn't like humans. So when the first 4 journalists that got this interview go in his apartment, they come out really shaken, really upset, even physically ill. And we learn through these experiences, all told in dialogue form, that this author doesn't like to answer questions, has some very strange worldviews and habits, but also he is very mean, but he uses language in a very interesting way. In the same time, it is very literal, and then also not at all. It is very special, and I cannot really find a way to explain it. The 5th journalist to go in is a young woman. She's called Nina, and she goes in knowing all that went wrong and all that created like strange situations with the previous journalists. So one of the rules that they have to follow is that everything is recorded and is available to everybody. And she goes in there resolute to have answers on her questions. And she is one of the people who really read the work of this author, and she has a lot of questions, and she has a very different approach. She has the questions on which we are not prepared to read. She has maybe uncovered something quite disturbing, and she is going into this verbal duel with this author, using language to determine which one of them wins and gets what he wants out of this interview. And we will slowly discover a lot about the author in itself, his works, but also about this journalist. And the book ends in a very unexpected way. And I cannot tell you much more about it because it would give a lot away. Amélie Nothomb's books are very special. I mostly enjoy them because of that. They tell like a straight up story. Sometimes that straight up story feels a little bit strange or undeveloped, but then in the choice of language and in what is said, there is so much interesting reflections. Like this one, we could have like the reflections about the author and the meaning of the work and the place of the author and the reader in society and in how things should be seen or read. But then also there is this dimension on the use of language that I cannot put into words, but whilst reading you go like, oh yeah, turned like this or seen like this or interpreted like this. And that is what I like the most about this author. That is the way that the language is used. She also doesn't shy away from using words nobody uses, that you need a dictionary for to understand. They are correct words, but they are just forgotten in even in French. So I am quite curious how the translation would be if you would have as many unusual words in English. If you have read this book or another by Amélie Nothomb, let me know in the comments how the translations feel to you. And if you haven't read a book by Amélie Nothomb, I really recommend you try out one. And this one, I am sure, is translated. And with that, I made it through the first week of TAR. I read the 2 books for the 2 prompts that we had. I read 1 extra book, and that makes me very happy. I didn't expect that, and I hope that you had a great week in TAR. You know where the comment section is to let me know everything about your first reading week. And I hope we can continue up this good work. If you want to see that, or if you just simply want to hang out a little bit with me more, because we do have some fun vlog ideas coming up, then you can subscribe to this channel, turn on the notifications so you know when the video arrives. But if you enjoyed this video, you could also maybe like this one so that other people can discover this video as well. See you soon!